We love Australia.
Yeah, it's like hard to have a bad time in Australia. We did like so many activities. Sydney was like our social chair. We had an activity every weekend that everybody went out and did. I don't know about you, but I feel like this is like, not only do we go for the hard R, which is really, really fun, but it's also like, when was the last time you saw like a hard R rom-com that's big and it's cinematic? Everybody's in swimsuits, looking good.
These gays, they're trying to murder me.
What do I think of her?
Yes?
I don't think of her.
Goodbye. I'm off. Read about that in the New York fucking Post.
I need to come clean with you about something.
Already? Okay. Lay it on me.
This is going to be really hard for me to say, but I need you to know with full honesty and transparency that the second we stop recording, I'm going to go into your fridge and I swear to God, if there is not more of that tuxedo cake from Costco, I will literally
There might be
burn your house down.
There might literally be pounds of it left in my fridge. I have so much shit left over from that party. It's
Do you
like
need me to take any
disgusting.
chicken wings left over?
Yes. There's
Wait.
lots of stuff. You can please take some home.
Are they still good to eat?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're good to eat. Yeah. They're safe.
I can eat a chicken wing 3 days later?
Yeah. It's cooked.
Okay.
It has to be fine. It's cooked chicken.
Okay. You threw a party, which was a success. Congrats.
Thank you.
Everyone loved it. Everyone
Birthday
had a blast.
bash. Not my birthday, but
You make everything about yourself. So maybe it's your birthday. Oh,
I'm not the one who got the other fancy cake, of which
No.
we only have one slice left. Thank you again for providing that.
you're welcome.
Joan got this delicious carrot and salted pecan cake. It was divine.
I was told at the party, someone asked me, where do you get cake from? And I was like, I have my bakery, And they go, you have a bakery? And I was like,
yeah.
well, yeah, where else do you get cakes when you need cakes?
This isn't no like Ralph's
And they were
Safeway
like, oh,
simple thing.
I don't know when I need cakes. And I was like, birthdays, graduations, parties, promotions, new jobs. For fun.
You're like, I'm a cake haver. What do you mean?
Like if it's a function, there's a cake. Like, why wouldn't there be a
Also,
cake?
like the trick is
Are adults not buying cake?
Well, the thing is, cake is known to be terrible, but like when you buy a cake from a good bakery, it's amazing.
Amazing. That shit had pecan,
That shit was
salted
delicious.
caramel.
Yeah.
It had carrot cake.
I really want to try the rose and pistachio one that they have there.
Oh, the rose and
That looks
pistachio tort is
insane.
really good.
Yeah.
But it's kind of thick.
Oh, I'm sure that's heavy.
Fave, honestly, is the strawberries and cream cake.
I'm kind of almost wishing we got that too.
We
I should just
can't,
throw some
though,
extra money
because
and
your
got it
hateful partner hates strawberry.
So I talked to him about it afterwards. He just doesn't like strawberry ice cream. I don't know why, but he actually would like a strawberry cake. But the carrot cake was the better choice. The carrot cake was still a better choice. It's about him. It was about his birthday, not yours.
I know, but salted caramel is such a fall flavor. We're in spring here on Eating for Free, the podcast recording live from the absolute edge of the internet. Hello, everyone. I am your unemployed local gossip, Joan Summers.
New era. Been there before. And this is your local artisan, Matthew Lawson.
We're recording to you live from the absolute brink of the media industry, where I have once again suffered another round of layoffs.
It's just so devastating.
I feel like
no one is safe at
I've
all.
lived through this so many times now that someone, all my media friends saw the news in Adweek, of course.
Yeah.
That's I love, by the way. I just want everyone else to know that like there is not really any other industry besides entertainment and media in which you hear about what's going on in your friends' lives in the news before you hear about it
Before
from
they
them.
even have time to tell you.
I got like
It's crazy.
17 text messages from people being like, I just saw it in Adweek. I just saw it on Twitter. And I'm like,
The dust has not even settled.
the truth is, to be honest with you, because I've lived through this so many times, and when I was at the Gizmodo Media Group Union and was at the WGAE, like I would help like with the severance package negotiation stuff because I was like one of the people in the bargaining committee. And I've just done this so many times. I just feel like everyone keeps telling me how sorry they are and how bad it makes them feel. And I feel nothing. Like I feel totally dead inside about it.
Is it because like secretly you knew this was like eventually going to happen?
It's not that. I just like it doesn't feel real, but it also just feels like what else was going to happen? You know, like I just I don't think I've really metabolized it yet. Yeah. Or it's like every time you get layoffs, it's like, you know, losing your senses with COVID. It's like I've lost my taste for layoffs. Like I can't smell it anymore, you know?
Well, it's almost like when you've gone through HR shit and you're just like, I can't do it again. Like emotionally, physically, mentally. Like I can't, like, what is there to say?
What is there to say? No, like
it happened, it's
you
done.
Get laid off. It's like,
bada bing, bada boom. Like,
especially when my entire professional life, you know, I was actually talking to my roommate about this and I was saying like, they were saying like this just keeps happening with like your jobs and stuff, like this kind of rollover.
Yeah, they like force you out or they drop you.
Yeah, or like whatever. And I just was saying, you know, it's not about obviously me at all. I am like I am the most bit player in this latest saga.
Yeah.
But I think we just were born at the end of the world, and this is what it is like to be born at the end of the world. Like
like
we came in as it was all kind of coming down around us, and so I'm just like walking into buildings that are already collapsing.
I don't know anybody who has like not worked a job, multiple jobs at this point, where it is like that condition, where like shit's falling apart at the seams at every moment, and you either can hold on and miserably, or you're forced out.
And we've been hearing from listeners too. I feel like everyone we know has gotten laid off.
Oh my God, no! Like everyone, every which way, and then
like I don't think I could count on multiple hands multiple times how many people we know that have been laid off in the last month.
Disgusting. And then at the same time, they keep saying, "Oh, it's because the recession's on the way," and I'm like, "Mama, what is this then? What else is?"
Well,
this?
aren't we officially in it now?
There's like a definition about interest rate returns. I don't fucking know.
Mama, we're in a recession, and the only thing that's going to save us is romantic comedy starring Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney. Let me tell you.
Is that $18 movie ticket to see this fucking movie?
We're seated. We're seated.
We're already waiting in line, actually.
We're in line, okay? Listen to me
waiting
now.
for the pre-sale.
Listen to me now. If there's one thing I'm going to do, on this earth, it's go and see a rom-com.
We need it more than ever. Recession vibes.
My mental health hinges on the success of Anyone But You, starring Glen Powell.
Is that really what
and
it's
Sweeney.
called? Anyone But You?
And you could already tell the title. But I will say, by the way, recessions give the best rom-com vibes because two of the all-time rom-coms, one of them not so much like my cup of jush, you know, not my cup of tea, my cup of jush.
It's like, sure, why not?
Was the last time we had a recession, we got Definitely Maybe. And then we got The Proposal. So who knows, babe?
Proposal. I saw
who
that
knows?
in theaters.
They need to satiate the masses. They need to
and also
wet our palates. They need to insert the tranquilizers into the movie theater ventilation
like
systems.
5G chip when? Like I'm waiting for it. Also, like the dumbest action movies you've ever seen in your life. Famous Transformers franchise started during the recession. Like, where's that?
Didn't Avatar also come out during the recession?
2009, yeah, so near the end of it.
Recession vibes.
Avatar 3.
So I'm going to play for you guys a clip. It just started the episode, but I really need everyone to hear it again because
please, round 2.
It's a shocking bit of visual media here at the CinemaCon red carpet.
It all happened at CinemaCon this year, especially.
Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney gush over filming in Australia together and tease their highly anticipated rom-com. Hashtag anyone but you at hashtag CinemaCon. ET now on Twitter shared this clip.
We love Australia.
It's like hard to have a bad time in Australia. We did like so many activities. Sydney was like our social chair. We had an activity every weekend that everybody went out and did. I don't know about you, but I feel like this is like, not only do we go for the hard R, which is really, really fun, but it's also like, when was the last time you saw like a hard R rom-com? It's big and it's cinematic. Everybody's in swimsuits, looking good.
Everyone's in swimsuits looking good.
The last time you saw a hard R. What?
The
PR manager just like collapsed out of their desk chair. Somewhere in a very white marble glossy PR agency in Hollywood.
No, like
Someone named a Rachel or a Michaela fell out of their office chair. Devastated.
no, someone on Sunset just saw an office chair go flying off a
Herman
roof.
Miller, Zoom.
I want to find another clip, but that was just for clarity. That was Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney, like I said. They're promoting a movie, they're chilling, they're having a good time, and they're really just vibing. And do you know why they're vibing? They're vibing because they're promoting the next movie of the fucking century. This is When Harry Met Sally. This is Pretty Woman. This is Mamma Mia. This is Mamma Mia 2. Here we go again. Okay? We're here today to talk about this because if you have been on the internet, if you have seen the press, the tabloids, the dis-moi,
The Dumois.
Dumois, you have heard about the alleged affair between Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney.
It's surely becoming alleged.
Alleged. I love speaking everything in like a bad French accent.
On Twitter,
like, alleged.
they allege there was a relationship, a pairing,
Dumois.
a coupling.
Dumois, I saw on my toasted baguette. I can't speak French. There's this affair going on in our minds and on Twitter.
In the soul of the American populace. Desperate for something, some type of connection.
And in today's society, more than ever, we need something to live for. And Scandival has been moved aside.
Yeah, no, we've churned that one out.
We are
every drop.
We found another blonde white woman to project all of our anxieties.
Pretty girl, let's hate on her.
We found another pretty woman to project all of our anxieties onto as a society and become the foil for the entire human race all at the same time. And let's get into it. So one thing we're going to be discussing today is less so much the gossip because it's not that interesting because to be very, very clear, literally nothing has happened. As far as we know.
There was some breaking news today that's not helping any of it, but
No, I mean that we don't have anything solid. We have like vibes to go on. And you know how I feel about vibes.
well, there's images that have a vibe.
I'll smoke a
Images
vibe, but I don't believe a vibe.
And the images say 1,000 vibes.
Yeah, the images say 1,000 vibes. And the vibes are two professionally employed people who are professionally trained actors doing their job and whipping the internet up into a frenzy for a movie that is going to save Hollywood. So let's get into it.
Move over Top Gun Maverick.
I'm going to start with two TMZ stories that are breaking. So we have one from April 24th, earlier this week. This is really what like kind of revved the engines, and then it just kept on the gas for the rest of the week. We have Sydney Sweeney not dating Glen Powell, still engaged to fiancé.
You just stop.
April 24th, this is TMZ. Sydney Sweeney is still with her fiance, Jonathan Davino, and is not dating Glen Powell.
All
Multiple
caps.
sources with knowledge tell TMZ. This is coming on the heels of a swarm of rumors pinning them together. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Sydney is still living with Jonathan, and all is well between them. They are still engaged. We're told Glen and Sydney are not dating. Okay, by the way, can I also just make something clear?
Mm-hmm.
Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ Sydney is still living with Jonathan and all is well between them. They are still engaged. We're told Glen and Sydney are not dating. The construction of like what the sources told TMZ is very much like Rachel McAdams in the Who is Her People, I think. Who do we think?
Who is her people?
William Morris. I think she's probably with, like
Endeavor.
Can you look?
Let's see.
Who's her agency? I'm like, there's some Rachel McAdams at WME who's like furiously calling TMZ the entire week. Like, just to be clear, they're still together.
Yeah, WME.
Wait,
Yeah.
did I get that right?
You are right. I mean, from 2014, but that's like the headline from it when they.
Okay, no, I'm pretty sure she's with WME.
I'm sure she still is. Yeah.
I think I only remembered that too because we had seen how a bunch of like, well.
Yeah.
During our encounter with WME, we
Yeah.
were looking at their website and we saw the Euphoria girlies were on WME at one point. Okay, so I'm just pointing that out because it's very much like this is one of her people. telling this to TMZ?
Yeah.
Because we don't hear about Gigi until all the way at the end. She mentioned in February interview that Cosmo doesn't like that to
Wait,
Cosmo.
why Rachel McAdams though?
I know that I was just making up a name.
Oh, okay.
Like Rachel McAdams at WME.
I was Googling Rachel McAdams, the actress, getting signed to WME. That's why I was so confused. I was like, what is the metaphor?
No.
You mean Sydney Sweeney, where Sydney Sweeney is signed to?
Yeah, no, I was just
my
saying
God.
her agent, Rachel McAdams at WME, because you said their names are like Rachel,
But
Brittany.
Rachel McAdams is like a real. Anyway.
I know.
Sydney's actually at Paradigm's Talent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, never
That's
heard of
what's up.
that, but yeah, Paradigm's Talent.
Shout out to Paradigms. Well, Rachel McAdams at Paradigms Talent. Rachel McMasters. There we go. There we go. There we go. I can't believe that lost you. I feel like that was a very clear setup, but I will take the hit as I am recently laid off and my brain isn't working properly. And I'm using that to make you feel bad about yourself. She mentioned in February interview with Cosmo that she doesn't like dating people in the entertainment industry. Makes sense. He's in the restaurant business. I'm getting that direct quote from TMZ. Now, all the way at the end, we get, as for Glenn, he's been dating Gigi Paris, but she did something that raised eyebrows Monday. She unfollowed Sydney. We have not been able to confirm whether they're still together. So that's why I'm saying Sydney's people are obviously the ones running damage control over this story. Glenn's people are like, let it rip, Glenn. And Sydney's people are like, she's still married to the guy or engaged to the guy that's walking her dogs in all those pat photos. So we now have later this week, Sydney gets unfollowed by Gigi Perry.
That name is still just so unreal. And also we can now confirm, I guess,
that Gigi Perry has also unfollowed Glen Powell and had a very spicy Instagram post that says, quote, know your worth and on to the next. Know your worth and on to the next. I can't say it in a French accent. I'm going to keep trying, though, for the rest of this episode.
even though this is not a boomerang,
French.
it's giving boomerang energy because she's like walking backwards and
Yeah, no, she
twisting
does the
around.
thing where she's looking at the camera and then she starts to walk back and then she
Turns around, yeah.
quick 180 pivot and walks into the sunset.
But Pop Crave is alleging that they're now broken up. TMZ,
well,
I guess,
they're
also
getting
is
Pop
confirming
Crave is
it.
getting it from TMZ.
Yeah.
But Pop Crave
So I was
loves...
saying Pop Crave confirms. They can't confirm it literally anything.
No, Pop Crave's never
Possible.
confirmed anything in their lives except the assassination of Osama bin Laden. Like... and that's because Chrissy Teigen told them.
You're gonna get us in trouble.
Why would I get us in trouble?
I don't know.
So now let's get on to another little bit of internet lore here. So amidst all this like flurry, right? They're at CinemaCon, which we're gonna get into, and they're promoting the movie. They've been all of these pictures coming out about them. There's been this like growing sentiment on Twitter. And I promise we're driving this vehicle somewhere, right? I am in the passenger seat of this car. Matthew's driving, and I'm
And you're
backseat
yelling at the
and
directions.
yelling. Yeah. So we're gonna go to Twitter now. You have this Twitter thread here. Let's take a look through it.
Let's open it up.
So
Feel free to join us in this journey, y'all. It's links in the description.
we have a tweet here that says, just found out about the Sydney Sweeney Glen Powell cheating rumors. Girl, after those first photos, I would have been pulling my hair out. What is this? Okay.
Shall we describe the
then
photos?
they show photos of them at work. Okay. So we have the first photo is them in front of a softbox or shooting some kind of scene. She's looking at him. He's looking at her. He's obviously ripped beyond belief. The second photo is them on like a cast day out and they're posing together. The third photo is them hugging in front of paparazzi. And the final photo is Easter with the fam. And it is a photo of them in a nondescript farmhouse kitchen. The kitchen's giving very MAGA vibes, so I'm assuming this is Sydney's family.
Stop.
No, it's like white farmhouse sink and then wood countertops and then like a dishwasher that's like the black dishwasher.
Well, it's
and
a
then
black and white photo,
overhead,
which isn't helping.
No. And then an overhead, what are those things called? Like stainless
pendant
steel
lamps.
pendant lights
yeah,
and
yeah.
the oven hood.
Yeah, the oven
It's
hood.
just giving like MAGA farmhouse renovation to me.
Yeah, there's just like nothing on the walls. Oh, wait, is that subway tile? I'm zooming on the left side.
It's
Looks
subway
like
tile, yeah.
Yeah, it's giving.
That subway tile, does that go all the way to the ceiling?
Well, that's what I'm confused about. Like,
I think no, their subway tile stops at the oven hood. Like literally, us the subway tile investigators
tells you everything.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Critical.
Sorry, but
information.
subway tile gives them it's MAGA vibes.
Sorry to the girls.
Sorry to the girls. If you have white farmhouse cabinetry and subway tiles, I know who you voted for.
You're only one Sayas Levine text type banner away.
What turns it into a democratic space?
Oh, some type of like really corny, like RGB, like rip, like.
No, okay. I think if there is a ceramic rooster, it's MAGA. But if there's
It's like
like
a wooden antique rooster.
no, even worse. If it's an owl, it's Democrat. If it's like a ceramic owl, that's Democrat.
Or like
A crystal, that's Democrat.
yeah.
Unless you're in Arizona, then it's MAGA.
Venn diagram.
Okay, so the replies to this obviously are like, wow, he's fucking her raw, and the pics of his family at the zoo, OMG. Like just very much people losing their minds. No fear at all. The girlfriend unfollowed Sydney. This relationship would have to end for my sanity. This isn't PR. They've seen each other more than one. I love they've seen each other more than one, as if they're like
true.
clones of themselves. He's seen multiple Sydney Sweeneys.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked at this point.
They're rolling her out of the cryo chamber to make sure she can stay at Euphoria High School for the rest of her life.
HBO cryogenics lab.
If there was anyone who had discovered cryo freezing cloning technology in Hollywood, it's Sam Levinson. So we're gonna now go through a quick little timeline of the PAP stuff. So that tweet came kind of like amidst filming, and let's kind of jump around a little bit to different moments that those photos are pulled from. So we have March 7th, 2023 from TMZ, Sydney Sweeney, Glen Powell beach pods in Australia shooting new rom-com. They're having fun in the sun, all smiles, while down under filming their latest project. The duo spending some time near Sydney, Australia for their latest film, a romantic comedy with Easy A and Friends with Benefits director Will Gluck leading the shoot. Now, by the way, Easy A and Friends with Benefits are both pretty good.
I know it's true. We can't say that's true.
Not much has been said about the mystery project, but Sydney and Glenn have been reported as the stars, and now we know it's going to feature their rockin' bods frolicking in the ocean. They are both splashing around with Alexandra Shipp and Hadley Robinson, two actresses who are co-starring in the film. We're told the cameras weren't rolling when they were spotted, so this is just some co-workers having some after-hours fun.
They love it. They love it so much.
So we're skipping forward to April 10th. Sydney Sweeney all smiles with co-star Glen Powell in Australia while making rom-com together. People. On Monday, Sydney Sweeney, 25, shared a series of photos on Instagram showing her and Top Gun Maverick star Glen Powell sightseeing in Sydney with other cast and crew members from their upcoming romantic comedy. Train emoji. Sometimes things are more fun in the rain. Like getting, sorry,
It's a trolley, to be fair.
It's a trolley.
Or a streetcar.
Run a trolley on me, Glen Powell. The Euphoria star wrote in a caption to her Instagram post, which showed the group on a sightseeing tour that took them to the Sydney Opera House, amongst other landmarks.
Sydney and Sydney. Sweeneying in the
Now,
Sydney Opera House.
In April, Gigi posted an Instagram story, and I would love you to read this tweet for me.
Oh, yeah, these are hilarious. So, okay, getting this from Twitter. Gigi's throwing all the possible signs and clues out there without explicitly saying anything LOL, side eyes emoji. This, along with the greatest one being her unfollowing Sydney, just aligns the breakup narrative with cheating. Wow, Glen Powell, you done effed up. LMAO, crying emoji. Damn. And then these photos are just screenshots from her Instagram stories. The first one is Wild Rivers Thinking About Love. Which
Songs to break up to.
Yeah, the album is Songs to Break Up To. The second one is, of course, Silver Springs, Fleetwood Mac. Third one is this very IG graphics, like millennial font, gut feelings are guardian angels. And then the fourth
Gut
one.
feelings are guardian angels.
Listen, it's giving like, you're like, this person is my spirit animal. And it's like, sure.
Okay, and by the way, the opening lyrics of Silver Springs is, you could be my silver spring, blue, green colors flashing. I would be your only dream, your shining autumn ocean crashing. Don't say that she's pretty. And did you say that she loved you? Baby, I don't want to know.
And then fourth post
and
is...
can you tell me, was it worth it? Baby, I don't want to know.
And then the fourth screenshot is Miss Gigi Paris is posting Never Better with her looking slayage in a doorway.
Yeah.
That's what
and I
describe it.
love all these comments from people. Where did the cheating part come from? Response, she unfollowed Sydney specifically, and all those breakup songs talk about a third person. Then the response again, is she still in Cassie's character?
She's method acting.
Also, what the fuck is going on? I leave for a while and come back to what?
Now people are saying she never followed her, and I'm like,
She never followed Sydney, but Glenn
What's the
did, and
truth?
he doesn't anymore. What is the truth? Okay, so we have more Twitter tweets. Do you want to open this next one with us?
Let's do it.
I do, by the way, the username of this person. Can you please tell me the first word in the username?
At femcell.
It's so good. I promise you guys, we're just setting this up for you right now, okay? We are taking this to a place. At femcell.
These are offset, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Okay, so
And
let's
then
talk about these photos. So
we get the photo of them hugging in front of the Paps. Photo of them basically like, I don't know, how do you know how to describe it? They're like in water near a boat, and they're
It's like-
she's like in his lap almost.
it's the
in a way.
shot that always happens every season on Below Deck.
Oh my God,
Where one of
literally.
the deckhands and the stews like go up to Captain Lee and
Yeah.
they're like, Captain Lee, now that there's no guest on board, do you mind if we jump off the side of the yacht? And then they're like, jump off.
And
the
the
side
girls
of the
are
yacht.
always like suddenly in the arms of a man. Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
Third
And then-
photo is we have a video
Oh, girl,
for it.
that video will not die. Like, you're obsessed.
The noise that they make in it is very
I was gonna say we have to
unsexy.
play it for everybody.
Okay, and then the final photo is them on a bridge.
I don't know what's up with this bridge. They're about to go skydiving or something.
I know. They do look like, I will say this, in the fourth photo, they do look like MAGA Barbie, MAGA
don't.
Ken. Like, I hate to say
Stop.
it, but they're that
Like they work in fintech.
they're that couple that you went to high school with. Their names are like, I hate to say it. I really do. Their names are like Becca and Sam.
Stop.
And they've been high school sweethearts this whole
Sorry
time.
to the Becca and the Sam.
Yeah, sorry to Becca and Sam. But their names are like Becca and Sam, and they've been high school sweethearts. Their families have money, and they grew up together, next door
absolutely.
neighbors. And you're kind of like, weird vibes. And he's not a football player, by the way. He doesn't play football. He plays tennis, and she specifically plays volleyball.
I hate you.
And
It's exactly that.
he picks her up from school every day, and they go to different schools, obviously. Catholic, all girls, all boys, of course. And his dad is either a real estate developer or a surgeon. And her parents are family money, indeterminate exactly what it is that they do
Investing.
for work, but they're like investors.
Yeah.
Dad's on Wall Street, always traveling. Mom has a like shell corp that she uses to run her businesses, as well as her Schedule C corporation, and the nonprofit that she has that isn't called Homeless Not Toothless, but is called like Homeless Not Dogless. Like, shout out Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she's really passionate about her charity work, which is buying dog food for people that she sees like on the street, whether or not they're homeless or not. And they have a very large wedding in Montana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Montana's key.
Yep.
Montana is the crux of all of this, really. And all of her bridesmaids, there's 12 bridesmaids.
This one is ones where they stay in like different mansions on the
They
property.
don't say different mansions. It's a ranch. It's like a ranch.
Well, that's what I
resort.
mean.
Yeah.
Like they're like different houses almost.
Yeah,
like
so there's like the
estates.
saddle house, which is the
Yeah,
main house.
Exactly.
And then there's like the boots and spurs, cottage. Like, She has 12
plus spurs.
Yeah, she has 12 bridesmaids, and he has 10 groomsmen, which was a point of contention.
Devastated.
But the reason is because there was a bus crash when he was in college with all the fraternity members of Phi Delta Kappa. And 2 of them didn't make it. And so he's leaving 2 spaces in the groomsmen party to just like allow them all to collectively grieve, as this is something that they experience.
They'll have like
together.
one moment about it at the speech later.
Yeah. There's like one guy like in Yellow Jackets that didn't get on the plane or didn't get on the bus, but still pretends like he was on the bus and like makes it everyone else's issue that he wasn't on the bus.
Where are they honeymooning?
They're honeymooning, and this is going to be really devastating. They're taking an Alaskan cruise because they really want to see the wilderness.
Is that to point at me? Because I have been on the last.
Okay, but does that make sense? Are you guys all seeing who these people are?
What do they do? What is Sydney and Chris do for work?
Well, he was big in Bitcoin because, you know.
Oh, yeah. FinTech. What am I saying?
He wanted to go into investing, which her parents appreciated.
Yeah.
She works at a mid-level law firm. They've moved to Seattle since.
They live in one of those like condos.
They retired at 35 and now
like
they're just
$3 million.
traveling the world. And all their Instagram photos are like barehand rock climbing, bridges, and airplanes.
They're renting out that condo they bought like 10 years ago for like $4K a month.
They post a lot of Instagram photos where it's like, so here's a thing. And it's like, like a tiger they hunted. Like, or like, it's really
like those dentists who were killing lions in Africa for fun and like got grilled for posting about it.
Well, no. They didn't go on that trip together. Glenn went with her parents, with her dad and his hunting buddies.
That very gendered.
Yeah, and that's when the MAGA stuff starts to creep in because his dad is in like one of those like groups like Patriots for a Lost Cause.com. Like,
you mean Facebook.com/Patriots for a Lost Cause?
Oh God. Okay, let's keep going. I'm sorry.
Back to the real news.
I got taken to a place.
I was so absorbed. I was like fully in the vision. I was like seeing the wedding photos. I was seeing them on Instagram.
Her wedding dress is lace, and it's like it's like cream. It's like a cream lace. Okay, we're gonna keep going.
It's sad because it's true.
It's sad because it's true. And again, more comments on this. Like, these are offset. LOL. She's method acting as Cassie, guys. Oh my God. It was his. If I was his wife, I would be dead. They're fucking down. OMG, poor girl. Sydney took her role from Euphoria too well, minus 4 a.m. routine.
How work besties really be.
Okay, but why are they so cute? OMG, I still think this is all a thing. It's just for publicity. Finally,
this really is
some sense in the femcells reply section. Okay, finally we have TikTok comments reacting to all of these photos. Now the TikTok
was
comments
ridiculous.
Broke me. So you're gonna get to read the TikTok and the comments.
Yeah. So this is a tweet we're getting that just has screenshots from a TikTok. The TikToker was originally from a user named Lisa Heiser. The TikTok originally says Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney debuted the first footage from the rom-com Anyone But You at CinemaCon, and it will be rated R, referencing that clip we put earlier. And then, as you can expect from the brain rot TikTok comments, a lot of people saying rom-coms shouldn't be rated R. I like my rom-coms cutesy and full of fluff, though. Rom-com and rated R doesn't belong together, to be honest. No rom-coms need to be rated R. Why R? I miss vanilla movies. Ugh. Some movies are basically
vanilla movies.
Some movies are basically just porn now. And by porn, they put the corn emoji as if you can't say the word porn. Okay. Why don't they? That's like my biggest thing about TikTok. I hate when
what do they
words
say?
They come up with to not
what else
say
do
words
they
they're
say?
fully allowed to say.
Scripper.
Oh,
Scripper is my favorite.
I have not even heard that one.
Instead of
stripper?
Yeah, they say like scripper.
You have to be joking.
I'm not joking. Is that a slur? It kind of sounds like
it's giving slur. Like,
if that is, I'm going to look that up.
Oh God,
actually.
This last comment though. Why don't they make films I can comfortably watch with my parents anymore? Now, like, when did we have to bring this into
it's
it?
Scripper.
Like,
Okay, cool. I love that you Google Scripper and the first thing that comes up is Scripper TikTok meaning.
well, because, like, it's made up and it's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, and it all comes obviously from the belief that the TikTok algorithm is going to censor the word porn, as if, like, anyways, we can't even get into the TikTokification of it. But the response to it, obviously, modern audiences are very interesting. I agree. I mean, I think we've talked about this a lot. And again, it's funny how we've just now become a podcast about the backlash and ongoing evolution of the Balenciaga scandal, because
it's all that.
It
all
all
the same
comes
shit
down
every
to
time.
that at the end of the day, right? Like, you scratch at anything and there's like some 16-year-old who's like talking about like forced sexuality because like a girl got kissed in a movie, and like and how like all of our society is just like basically pornography, which, like, man, it's really shitty pornography then.
Like, if this is porn, what are we doing?
Okay. So let's now go to People. April 25th, 2023, Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell tease their rom-com chemistry. Now, this is where we're going to start to turn a little bit. Now, one thing I want to mention before we read this is, like, as you've heard throughout the last couple things we've read, Twitters, TikToks, and also the stories on different blogs, something that everyone is like really grappling with throughout the last week is like, what is PR? Like, what does PR look like? Is it PR? Is it real? Are they doing this for the movie, et cetera, et cetera? So we really are interested in that question. Why don't you read this People story and we'll kind of get into it.
Yeah. So Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell are putting their rom-com chemistry on full display. On Monday, the co-stars attended CinemaCon 2023 in Las Vegas to unveil the first footage from their upcoming movie, Anyone But You. Shortly after walking on stage for the presentation, Sweeney noted that the film wrapped up just, quote, hours ago in Sydney, Australia, but she and Powell wanted to be on hand personally for the showcase to members of the movie theater industry at the convention. Quote, "We love seeing ourselves on the big screen," Powell joked, prompting Sweeney to reply, "Oh, please, Top Gun," a nickname referring to Powell's part in last year's blockbuster Top Gun Maverick opposite Tom Cruise. "I love when she calls me that," he quipped.
Okay. Now, I saw the footage of this, like grainy Instagram story footage of this, and it is like the most scripted PR. I am doing this
like
as a canned bit.
Yeah.
Now, all of this is coming out, and if you want to scroll down here for just a little bit, we have some photos of them at CinemaCon. Actually, it doesn't look like that photo got in, but you've seen the photos, right?
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Of them at CinemaCon where they're like looking into each other's eyes.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
like,
they're doing the whole...
interviewing each other with a tiny camera.
Yeah.
If you watch the videos of that interaction, they're like posing for the camera, right? Like,
absolutely.
Between each of those shots, they're like resetting up for the shots. If you are paying attention to their
or
body
they like
language.
kind of like align themselves.
Yeah, like one thing I was always thinking about is, remember when ban Affleck? Yeah, we actually should ban Affleck, but Ben Affleck and Anna de Armas, which I covered extensively on Jezebel, would do those like paparazzi walks.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one video in particular that was too expensive to buy. I couldn't like afford it. It was like $20,000 or some shit.
It's wild what they can charge for this shit sometimes.
And I don't think it was 20,000. I'm making that up, but it was a lot. It was more than like the budget that we had for
I'm sure
photos.
10 plus.
And it was them like walking, and like they would like stop on the sidewalk, Matt, I shit you not. They would stop on the sidewalk, freeze in place, and like freeze in place as if they were speaking, and just pose like that for like 20 seconds. And then they would breathe, and then they would walk a little bit farther, and then stop, and then pose again. And it's like, you know, in those photos you see, one of the jokes that I was always making is like, wow, they're really walking all the time, you guys, in front of these cameras. Like, they're just
stop walking.
constantly.
They're obsessed.
But a photo only conveys like half the story, right? The other part of the story is that this is like being manufactured in tandem with these paparazzi people. And you keep hearing this thing about PR this, PR that. And I don't really think anyone understands what PR is specifically, because everyone also thinks that magazines employ social media interns and not actual social media professionals. You know, like no one knows actually what goes on behind their curtain. They're all just kind of guessing about all of this. And the main question coming up about the PR stuff is like, well, why is all of this happening at CinemaCon? What is
think about
CinemaCon anyways?
This very important event where they're showing footage of the movie.
Yes.
It's almost like it's very important.
It is actually very important. So before we get into what CinemaCon is, I want to bring up this one very interesting thing that I found while digging around on Glen Powell. So Glen Powell was in Top Gun Maverick, the highly anticipated blockbuster sequel to Top Gun with Tom
I
Cruise.
still can't believe it's like one of the highest grossing films ever made now.
No, it's literally like a gigantic film.
Yeah, because we're doing our Avatar coverage. It's like it like beat Avatar, and then Avatar beat it again. But
Yeah, it was their kind of like they had a dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
So he had an interview on the Actors and Actors, segment on Variety last year.
Yeah.
Where he was talking about Top Gun, and he revealed that Tom Cruise was like a mentor to him during Top Gun and was giving him advice about like, sometimes you fall into the trap of wanting to be liked on camera, and in a movie like this where there's going to be a lot of eyes on it, you don't want to be Draco Malfoy. But for the ending to work, you have to completely lean into that. Everyone else in the movie is questioning their own ability. You're the only guy that's not questioning it. So if there's any sort of apology in anything you say, the movie doesn't work. Lean into the douchebaggery of it all. And that was the advice that Tom Cruise gave him on how to be a movie star.
Well,
Basically saying, lean into it, right? Like embrace it wholeheartedly, which is advice, by the way, that has worked fantastically for Tom Cruise as a movie star, leaning into the role of being a movie star, charismatic, charming, flirtatious, exuberant, interesting, always giving people something to talk about, think about, do that, etc. We're not talking about the Scientology of it all, but like Tom Cruise was a celebrity outside of Scientology.
Yes.
And in many ways because of it, but the public image of Tom Cruise was not necessarily inherently wrapped up in Scientology for his entire career, right?
Yeah.
Like there was a Tom before. And this advice does sound exactly like something Tom Cruise would say, especially to a young up-and-coming person who he probably maybe doesn't recognize himself in, but right, like being that like older mentor actor figure type, which he also does because we all saw how he reacted while making Mission Impossible and people were breaking COVID rules, how deeply he cares about like...
I forgot about that. He was like yelling at everybody.
Yeah,
and
how
like,
deeply he cares about like the art of movie making and like the spirit of Hollywood, right? And Glenn seems like the type of like bland sponge guy who's going to absorb all that advice. Yeah.
keep getting cast.
And so if, the best advice he ever got from a movie star, Tom Cruise, was to lean into the roles he's playing, not be afraid to like totally commit to his character. And if you're playing a douchebag, be a douchebag. Or maybe if you're playing a charming love interest, be a charming love interest, right?
Ooh.
Don't apologize for it and just embrace it and all of the things that you would think a good actor makes. It's very interesting that now he is making international headlines for basically doing his job correctly.
It's almost
and
like some dots we
Sydney
can connect here.
also doing her job correctly. And I think what's interesting about all of this is, and we talk about this all the time, the assumption that people don't know cameras are pointing at them.
Oh, it's the most absurd thing that people every single minute of the day be forgetting.
I'm sorry, but Sydney Sweeney and Glen Powell were in the water on a yacht. I don't know if anyone's ever been on a boat before, but when you're out on the sea,
someone's photographing you.
if there's other boats, you can see the boats, right? And if you're filming a movie,
it's not a low quality photo either.
No. It's
telephoto was on.
It's like
but...
a telephoto. It's like maybe at like 120 millimeters.
Oh
like,
yeah, like 300 at most.
Yeah.
At most.
Which
it's not very far.
You still have to be pretty within visual range to see.
And again, blue, crystal clear water.
Yeah, you're gonna see the people taking photos of you. Also, half the photos that people are posting are photos they took and shared themselves. Do you guys not know that people's Instagram accounts are controlled by their publicists? They might not have like total say over it, but when people, especially movie stars, post on Instagram, a lot of the times there is at least like 2 or 3 people who have workshopped that Instagram post. And if they are doing it totally spontaneously, it is because they have had a directive from the studio to promote the film that they are in. Does everyone remember the big gripe that everyone had in the Don't Worry Darling camp about Olivia Wilde and Florence Pugh's whole bullshit feud. What was everyone mad at about Florence? I mean, specifically Olivia's people. Why were they mad at Florence? Do you remember?
For the stuff she was posting, right?
Not only the stuff she was posting, what wasn't she posting?
Oh, about the movie itself.
Yes. She didn't post anything about the movie. It was her just
sipping an Aperol Spritz, not talking about the movie.
Yeah, not promoting it.
Which again, like, it's going through her PR team, but that's the direction they're going.
There is literally a cottage industry of fan accounts and movie hype accounts that basically just scrub celebrity Instagram accounts and repost everything that they post.
All we're getting from this.
Sydney Sweeney on set with Glen Powell, right?
Yep.
Like reposted to like a million different Instagram accounts. They know what they're doing, right? When they pose together looking cute in a picture, or they do a backwards flip off of a couch together, like they're doing that because they're in an environment where they are being professionals and adults and actors with jobs that have directives from the marketing team and the studios and the director on how to promote the film that they are in. Specifically, like I said, at CinemaCon. Matthew, what is CinemaCon? Do you want to read this little blurb I pulled from their website for me?
Yes. Since taking its first steps in 2011, CinemaCon has evolved and grown to become the largest and most important gathering for the worldwide motion picture theater industry. CinemaCon is truly a global event attracting attendees to more than 80 countries. On behalf of CinemaCon, the official convention of the National Association of Theater Owners, NATO, we extend our...
I love that it's
I know.
NATO.
I had to say that because I was like, we extend our sincerest appreciation and gratitude to the entire motion picture theater industry for helping to make the past 11 years so successful. And now, as we gear up for our 11th show, the excitement continues when CinemaCon returns to Caesars Palace in Las Vegas from the 24th of April to the 27th for what is sure to be our biggest convention to date. From Hollywood production presentations, debuting a slate of upcoming films, to must-see premiere feature screenings, to the biggest stars, producers, and directors, CinemaCon will jumpstart the excitement and buzz that surrounds the holiday season and beyond at the box office. The schedule will be broad, diverse, educational, and fun, and will feature the largest cinema trade show in the world. It will appeal to and attract all facets of the international motion picture theater industry: exhibition, distribution, marketing, publicity, and advertising, internet and social media, and of course, the theater equipment and concession manufacturers and dealers who will showcase the latest technological advances and innovative concession offerings at the trade show, which is run in association with their partners at ICTA and NAC. As well, CinemaCon will once again incorporate a special day of programming geared just for the international marketplace, that beginning on Monday, April 24th, 2023.
Yep. So let's also talk about last year. What happened at CinemaCon? Because it's still going on at the moment, right? Like CinemaCon is underway. And for those of you who, I guess, don't really work in the entertainment industry, CinemaCon started as a way for Hollywood studios to interface directly with movie theater owners, right? It's part of an insidious and necrotic and parasitic relationship between major chain retailers, specifically the theater owners, and the studios. They're basically saying, this is what we have coming to you this year.
Yeah.
And also remember, not only do a lot of theaters have exclusive contracts with things like Marvel or Disney on like how they can show their films, how many blocks have to get taken up by the film to screen it.
Yep.
But there is like limited numbers of screening windows available for films, generally speaking. And so this is the way to like get your movie front and center in front of these people and be like, this is the movie that you need to be excited for. This is the movie that we need to like negotiate a deal for, right? Like we need to get Batman 2 like collector's edition cups, right? Like we need to have like light up Avatar glow toys at AMC, right?
Yep.
Like this was originally supposed to be that. And then it started to become more of a trade show like Comic-Con where
like CES.
Yes, where people started to premiere movies at CinemaCon, right? It became something where there was like an air of exclusivity about CinemaCon because, you know, Comic-Con was so overrun by Marvel, I think. As theaters declined, as streaming took over, there was like a real incentive amongst Hollywood power players to like basically revitalize the like excitement for box office studio
and like
movies.
regular movies, like
yeah. And CinemaCon, you know, Comic-Con obviously has like a lot of directors, writers, stars, actors, that kind of thing. And those people all happen like the same way at CinemaCon. But CinemaCon kind of more works like the NBC upfronts, which we hear about a lot.
Yeah.
Where, you know, you're sending your stars out in front of like advertisers and distributors.
And it's like industry only. It's not like Comic-Con where you can buy a ticket and go.
No, I think there are tickets sometimes, like for like select groups of people.
Yeah, I could see
but
that.
the people that are going are like, you know, WB's chief of creative marketing.
Exactly.
Is like who goes to CinemaCon, right? Like, you know, AMC's like head of global ops. Like that's who's at CinemaCon. So just to give you an idea of like what happened at CinemaCon 2022, we had Batman 2 was announced. Amsterdam got a trailer. Black Adam announced his official description. Barbie movie's first look revealed at CinemaCon. The Ghostbusters movie was announced. Wonka's first teaser was shown. Wicked was announced at CinemaCon 2022.
That Wonka teaser? I want that.
We also had Avatar also, I think, got its trailer at CinemaCon as well. And then we have a bunch going on at CinemaCon 2023 as well, but that's like a more growing list, so we don't have all of it right now. But some stuff that was announced, like more Spider-Man bullshit, more Sony bullshit, more Marvel bullshit. There's also Napoleon, the Ridley Scott period piece. I think it got a trailer. There was also trailers for Equalizer 3, Gran Turismo, Insidious the Red Door, Bad Boys 4 also got a message from Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Okay. And then Warner Bros. Discovery obviously announced a bunch of stuff. Like I said, the Flash, Blue Beetle, Aquaman, and Lost Kingdom. The Flash actually is interesting.
I just saw that trailer before I saw Evil Dead Rise, and I was like, they did make this movie. They really finished it. Like, fuck.
I think that one of the bigwigs at WB called the main actor in The Flash, whose name is escaping me right now. What are the
Ezra Miller?
Ezra Miller's name. Yes.
I thought you were about to be like, we shall not speak.
Yeah, well, we shall. But they were called like one of the greatest actors ever.
That is wild.
Yeah, I know. When I saw it, I was like, read the fucking
I won't forget
room.
what happened last year.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, when I read it, I was like,
Ezra
what?
Miller.
But anyway, so CinemaCon is like a big deal. We have this thing also from Deadline that kind of ties into how big CinemaCon is this year, like to the people in the industry, how much is riding on the success of all of these different slates that are being presented, right?
Yeah.
Because this is basically like, again, like I said, the upfronts where, you know, WB is going and WB's like, here's all my movies, right? Here's Barbie, here's this, here's that. Star is Born also got an announcement at CinemaCon as well. Like, so you think about it like that, or Sony's like, here's all the movies we have, right? Like, please, God, come see our movies. Please, I'm begging you, see our fucking movies. So this is from Deadline, right? A trade pub. Global box office now projected to reach $32 billion in 2023. So, revising its projection from December last year, Gower Street Analytics, has increased its forecast for global box offices across 2023. London-based firm now expects worldwide receipts to hit $32 billion for the year, versus the earlier $29 billion projection. The update comes as the industry gathers in Las Vegas on the eve of CinemaCon, and as the Super Bros movie, is poised to be the first $1 billion grosser of 2023. Should the 32 figure hold, this would represent an approximate 23% improvement for the industry on 2022, while still trailing the average of the three pre-pandemic years, 2017 to 2019, by 20%. So it's 20% less than the pre-pandemic.
Yeah, still struggling.
But it is a 23% boost from 2022, which was like a horrible year for the box office.
Oh, absolutely.
Same with 2021. So it's interesting that, you know, we're seeing so much press out of CinemaCon, and there are so many eyes on CinemaCon because it's working to the studio's favor to get as many eyes on this as possible. Because, you know,
exclusively
it's
in theaters.
one London-based analytics firm, right? Like, this is not like a fact that this is going to cross 32 billion. We don't really know, obviously. These are trend forecasts for a reason.
It's all riding on Barbie and Oppenheimer as well.
But like, that's what I'm saying. But like, these studios are incentivized this year in particular to prove to investors, to prove to these people that they can bring the film industry back, right? They want everyone talking about what's going on at CinemaCon. And if you look at basically anyone who was on the red carpet at CinemaCon, of course we had the big three. We had Glen Powell and Sydney Sweeney, right?
Yep.
Who have been getting very buzzy press. We have Timothy and Zendaya and Margot and Ryan. Timothy and Zendaya obviously promoting Dune 2. If you look at that photo of them again, they're having a great time. They're being flirty, fun, charismatic. And we have Margot and Robbie.
I was like, sure.
We have Margot Robbie and Ryan Gosling obviously promoting the Barbie movie. He's in a t-shirt that says Greta Gerwig and a pink jacket. She's in just like kind of a regular outfit, right? All three of these couples were trotted out across CinemaCon getting press, right? We had Ryan and Margot go viral because like everyone's making fun of him not looking like Ken, and now he has bleach blonde tips, etc., etc. Everyone else is like, oh my gosh, Timothy and Zendaya are so cute. Oh my gosh, bestie vibes. They should date vibes. Like maybe they're having an affair vibes too, right? Like, I'm just saying, like
No, I know.
everyone
Yeah, of
is
course.
desperate for these photos, and it's crazy to me because it's fucking CinemaCon, and I'm looking at like red carpet photos from CinemaCon, and the red carpets, it's like a purple carpet.
Yeah, I was
And
like, it's not giving red carpet.
and they're in jeans, and it's still the like most breathless pop photos we've had in like the last 3 months, more than maybe the Academy Awards. Like, oh god, and the Met Gala's coming up too. So it's just interesting to me. I wanted to point out the $32 billion thing in particular because, like, I think people are
It does feel
forgetting.
low. Like, it really does.
You know, and I was doing
And we
a
know
little
it's
bit
low,
of,
I guess.
I was doing a little bit of math for all of the gags earlier in our group chat for like Hollywood movies in particular.
Yeah, I know you're looking at like rom-com.
Yeah, so
stats
I
and
did get
stuff.
rom-com stats, and something that's really interesting to me, I kind of want to point it out. People were asking me like what I think a successful movie is going to be for these two, and I really think that like for this movie to perform well, you know, like for this movie to be something that is worthwhile for the studio, lives up to its hype, like the baseline that it needs to break opening weekend is like 20 million. That's like the baseline for it to be a success, right? Because Crazy Rich Asians, which was the last like true breakthrough
that really is one I can
standout
think of.
rom-com, and by the way, is the only rom-com I think since like 2011, 2010 to be in like the top 10 highest.
Was that the proposal?
I think it was the proposal. So 2009.
Yeah.
I think it was the last movie since 2009, or the only movie since 2009, rom-com specifically.
Yeah, of course.
To break into like the top 10 highest
God.
weekend for like opening weekends of any rom-com.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah, I
Was
remember when you looked
Crazy
at the
Rich,
list, the number...
and it was 35 million.
Yeah.
was the number.
I was going to say, like, there's been a steep decline since the 2000s
So
in
the
rom-com
top
success.
10, by the way, starting at number 10, just for everyone, in terms of like total like box office, Knocked Up, number 10. Then we have Runaway Bride, the Sex and the City movie, the first one, The Proposal, and then Crazy Rich Asians. Then we have Something About Mary, Pretty Woman, Hitch, What Women
Wow.
Want, and My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Those are
Yeah,
the
most
top
of these
one,
are
with
like
My Big Fat
2000s
Greek
and
Wedding
90s.
being
Yeah.
the number one. So you can see that obviously rom-coms are struggling, right? But they struck gold with Crazy Rich Asians, and everyone's trying to replicate that over and over again. It was $35 million opening weekend. I don't have its total box office. But if we're going to keep going in terms of movies that came out last year, do you remember that movie, The Last City, or The Lost City, with
God.
Sandra Bullock and
yeah.
who else was in that?
One of those muscle
Channing
guys.
Tatum.
Yeah, yeah.
So that movie made $192 million last year.
Really?
It was number 17 on the total box office for the year.
actually kind of shocking.
And it was the only movie in the top 20, rom-com in the top 20 at $192 million. It had, I believe...
Wasn't that mostly through like Disney Plus anyway that you could watch it?
No, I'm talking about specifically box
Oh, okay,
office.
okay. Yeah.
The other one, the only other rom-com
that's shocking.
that comes close to Lost City is Ticket to Paradise, which opened with I think it only broke $60
that
million
movie.
domestically, but it had a $160 million global gross.
Oh,
and by the
okay.
way, The Lost City, that 192 million was global as well.
I was gonna say it's like half of that from China.
So it was like
or
60, and then I think The Lost City broke like
that movie.
90.
Ticket to Paris was the one with George Clooney and Julia Roberts.
Yes.
Okay, no wonder.
And that broke 160 global, but it only broke 60 million domestically, right? So for this film to like actually make an impact, to live up to its hype, it's going to have to make 20 million first weekend. But I think if it's actually lived up to its hype, it breaks like 25, 30 million opening weekend.
that makes sense.
And that is because we know what those numbers are pre-pandemic, right? 35 million. If we are down still 20% this year for the box office, then I would say we're definitely not going to reach that level of opening weekend
That would be like
for a
astounding.
rom-com. But also, I would say for completely different reasons, this movie is probably one of the rom-coms to actually break through to like mainstream attention since Crazy Rich Asians. And for completely different reasons. I'm not saying it's like the only rom-com to like come out at all, but I'm saying like studio rom-com, not Netflix, not like direct to streaming, not like a foreign film,
Like a truly traditional box
like a
office
truly
movie.
traditional Hollywood box office.
And Sydney
studio
Sweeney
movie.
being in it is definitely going to be helpful.
Yeah,
mean,
I 100%
she's
think so.
Definitely the girl.
Euphoria,
right now.
like HBO is carried by Euphoria. Let's be real.
Absolutely.
And we can be honest about it, right? We don't have to lie.
And Zendaya's too busy with Dune, so that's all we got.
Yeah. And so I just think that that's kind of like where I'm coming from with all of this, like where I'm thinking about it. And it'll be very interesting to see, like zooming out of the affair of it all, because you and I are really not interested in whether or not
we
she's
know
having an
like
affair.
it's not real.
We're interested in like how this translates to like reality, right? Like, is the movie going to be a success? What is PR? What is the truth? All of that is what we care about.
And it's almost like we've seen this before.
Oh my God,
It's
that's
almost
so
like
weird.
This isn't the first couple in a movie to act like it's all real and happening.
Yes.
I remember, shout out to Ashlyn on Discord was joking, like, the people nowadays could not have handled the Mr. and Mrs. Smith PR cycle. Like, if y'all, shout out to the girls who were there.
You would
for
not
that.
have lived through Jennifer
you thought
Aniston
this is
photographed
crazy?
on that beach.
Oh my God, yes.
Wait, actually, do you want to look at that photo for me really
Yes,
quick?
it's been a million
If you just
years.
Google Jezebel, Jennifer Aniston breakup, there should be something about it. Like Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt breakup.
Jennifer Aniston is still fine. It seems like it's yours. Yeah. Oh, no, actually not yours, this one. Funny enough.
Anyways, wait. Google celebrity mess. With that, I think it had the headline had something to do with like celebrity mess. Welcome to the new era of classic celebrity chaos. And I said this in 2021. And by the way, I was right. I was right. Let's read this. Let's read this opening.
Oh,
bit.
yeah, I got it here.
During a holiday vacation in 2005, right after New Year's Day, Jennifer Aniston clutched Brad Pitt's waist on a beach in Anguilla. She looked forlornly, jaw set, into the waves just out of frame while he clutched her shoulder and stared straight into the camera lens. It was a look of knowing. A week later, ABC confirmed that the pair had split. The vacation was their last together, at least in front of the paparazzi, and for almost 15 years, it was the last time they were formally in the same photograph together. Photographs like this one have become increasingly rare. Stills that capture a definable celebrity mood, aside from commercial photo ops outside of Craig's and WeHo, seem less and less accessible as celebrities become less and less definable and more controlled. The pandemic could be in part to blame. Celebrities have retreated inward from little to promote. Influence and Kardashians can be seen outside Nobu in their masks and fancy clothes, but the gossip wells have run dry and the crops of rumors withered and turned to dust. But to blame this retreat of the American celebrity from public life solely on the pandemic is short-sighted, as the slow transition began with the introduction of social media. And I go on to list certain things like Kanye West's relationship with Irina Shayk, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez getting back together, all of these things. I tie it into all the stuff going on with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie outside of the paparazzi. We have Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise, all of these things that I kind of tie together in this piece.
Yeah.
I would highly recommend everyone go read it. But the purpose of bringing all of that up is because we all know what paparazzi photos do to society and what role they have played in shaping Hollywood, getting people to go see things. And before you get into this piece from The Cut, I am going to read to you a tweet that just like unsettled my spirit today. This is no shade to the person. I've linked the tweet in our notes, but I'm not going to name them here because I'm not trying to be rude. I think that the point that they are trying to make is definitely in the realm of truth, in the sense that like Sydney and Glenn are obviously putting it on very thick.
Yeah, this is like a stage.
I think that part is true, but where they take that point did kind of unsettle me. But this has now gone uber viral on Twitter. Everyone's reposting it, retweeting it, liking it, etc. So the tweet says, Romcom PR 101, you got to leave room for the ambiguity of infidelity. I need to believe you may actually be together, but also have an equal amount of doubt that you are. Take the window of ambiguity here is too small, meaning Glenn and Sydney are laying it on too thick, right?
Yeah.
That there's no like ambiguity. And the excellent
I would say there is, but
there's a lot of ambiguity.
Yeah, I'm like they're not saying it.
The excellent example of rom-com romance PR that they give is Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac. And now you're thinking to yourself, wait a minute, were they in a rom-com together? No. Were they in a romantic movie together? No. They were in a mini-series drama that was an adaptation of Bergman's Scenes from a Marriage, but I digress. So this follow tweet says, take a look at the greats of rom-com PR. They gave us nothing and everything at the same time. Let the chemistry speak for itself. In full seriousness, posting photos of Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac on the red carpet when everyone's like, this is really weird. Are they fucking? Because he smelled her armpit on the red carpet. And
like rubs her arm like seductively. Like,
I'm going to get into Scenes from a Marriage, by the way, because like... This tweet like truly unsettled me. It displaced me in the temporal time stream and the time space continuum because I'm like, what is everyone talking about? Like, what is everyone talking about?
Really
do you all like genuinely remember that moment? You do though, because you have this piece from The Cut. What is talking about it in it?
So okay, this is again from last August from The Cut. Oscar Isaac is still struggling to explain that red carpet PDA. When Isaac decided to nuzzle Chastain's arm at the red carpet,
smell her armpit. He smelled her armpit.
I know. At the Venice International Film Festival in 2021, he immediately ignited a world of thirst and questions. The immediate moment felt both deeply personal and also a bit strange. Was he kissing her bicep or sniffing her armpit? Were they still in character from Scenes from a Marriage, or are they just really, really cuddly friends? Initially, Isaac denied any involvement, telling IndieWire at the time, quote, "That wasn't me. I don't know who that was, but we're on to it." And then, this is so bizarre. This quote, I literally don't know how to feel about it. Like, we'll just process it together as a family. So when asked about that moment more recently, he had a very confusing explanation. He said, quote, "You can cut them into like 100 pieces."
Speaking of flatworms.
Yeah, talking about flatworms. "You can cut them into 100 pieces and they will grow a whole new worm out of the little piece," Isaac said during an appearance on the Jess Cagle show. According to the actor, scientists have theorized that flatworms communicate on a cellular level. Quote, "The cells kind of talk to each other through electricity and kind of decide, okay, you're going to make the head. All right, I'm going to make the tail." Adding that flatworm cells speak to each other through a, quote, "electro kind of magnetic situation. And that's how Jessica and I kind of talk to each other. We're just like little flatworms. Maybe we should use more actual human language to talk instead of sniffing an armpit and doing things like that," he continued. "That's kind of what starts to happen. And no matter how much we know each other, no matter what happens, it's like when you get us together, it's just like, it's just other stuff that's going on that's making us grow two heads." It's like incomprehensible.
It's an incomprehensible.
I was trying to read it and you can tell me I was struggling, but I was just like, what does this mean?
No, because you read it exactly as he said.
Exactly. That's why I'm like, but what does that mean?
Now, okay. Let's take the premise that
Let's take this theory.
Jessica Chastain and Oscar Isaac is great PR, right? Mm-hmm. Great PR, what would you say accomplishes? Like, what does great PR accomplish?
Money made in the bank, and lots of people talking about it. All it really is.
Is that it for you? Is that really it?
I mean, if your PR agency doesn't get the movie to make money, it's not really doing its job. And that usually means it's in views and ticket sales.
I was
impressions.
expecting to have to tease that out of you a little bit more, but you really you jumped right to
well,
it.
bitch, listen, it's the movie industry. What else are we here for?
Yeah, what else are we here for?
Stacks of cash.
Okay,
no one's here to make art anymore. Are you kidding me?
I just love that people are like,
No, but what's so funny too about that original tweet also is I was just like, they were almost laying on too thick by him sniffing her armpit compared to like Sydney and Chris like just, goofing around and like saying weird shit and like getting cuddly. I'm like, he was sniffing her armpit in front of all those people and making very intense eye contact. That would be laying it thick, in my opinion.
No, that would be laying it so thick.
It's funny, but also, like you said, not a romantic comedy. It was a miniseries.
Okay, so by the way, Scenes from a Marriage, October 2021 had like 100 on Google Trends, right? And like, kind of, it was like a breakout topic, like a little bit, but like was like fizzling out, right? Like very much like, it was like, it basically only spiked that one day that he did that. And then it immediately plummeted the next week.
Yeah, I think you
on
even
Google
have like
Trends.
the viewers here for each episode.
Okay, now I'm just going to do Google Anyone But You, right? That's what it's called. Anyone But You. Mama.
Oh, just to get the like impressions we're already getting right now.
Mama.
What?
Mama. Anyone But You. I mean, the movie hasn't even come out yet, and it's already like at a sustained level of attention that like this never
Far
achieved.
outpaces, yeah.
But I'm gonna, because Anyone But You is new, let's Google Sydney Sweeney instead. I feel like that's like a more accurate comparison. I'm just
she's
like,
the one we're Googling right now, that's for sure.
yeah. I'm like, we might get better results with Sydney Sweeney. I just think this is gonna be really illuminating. I can't operate Google Trends. There we go. Mama. Like, she's had, since this movie came out, her Google Trends are way higher. Like, you look at Scenes from a Marriage at its peak, right? Look at that.
Oh, yeah, I see here. Yeah.
Look, the blue is Scenes from a Marriage. At the same time, that's Cindy.
Wait, it's a flat line compared.
Look. No, this is this week. This is this week.
Oh,
do you see
God.
that? That's Scenes from a Marriage's peak, and that's this week.
No, quite literally what Joan is showing me is a flat line with a little bit of a blip. And then Sydney Sweeney is just like charting.
And this week is mountaining on Google Trends, comparatively speaking, in terms of like searches.
You have to laugh.
I'm just saying. So this is what I'm saying. Where like, if it was good PR, why was no one Googling it? Why did no one look for it? Why did nobody, more interestingly, watch it? So let's actually see how many people watched
these
it.
These numbers, they don't lie.
So I'm getting this live, obviously, right? We know live TV is like dead, right? So we don't have the impressions over time. Impressions meaning like how many people watched it and also how many people watched it and sat through the whole thing and finished it to completion. We don't have those numbers.
And that's very different than a movie will be as well.
But we do know that, you can still watch things on HBO. Plenty of people do. And we have those numbers for things like Westworld, which, Scenes from a Marriage cratered in comparison to. Even like the most recent season, which nobody watched from Westworld.
Oh
like
my God.
a
Me,
fraction of those people watched Scenes from a Marriage also.
Garbage.
So I'm getting this specifically from numbers that are tracked by Showbuzz Daily. And the finale of Scenes from a Marriage, which was, obviously coming amidst
That's
all
a good
this,
way
like,
to determine how
arm kissing.
popular the show really was.
How many people sat through? 0.02% of people in the United States watched Scenes from a Marriage's finale. Matt, I'm not saying 0.02, like 2% of Americans watched it.
No. 0.2%.
0.02 of a single percentile watched Scenes from a Marriage. Specifically, 154,000 people.
That's pretty bad.
It's not even just that it's bad. It's obviously a miniseries, but it's starring Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain.
That's really bad.
Two like bona fide movie stars. Movie stars.
I mean, think about it. That was like a movie, and you're even charging at like $10 a ticket. That would be like, actually, that would really be like 1.5 million or something.
Its total viewership was less than 1 million.
Like combined
for
all
every
episodes.
single episode combined.
That
was less than 1 million.
Housewives are like Rocky when they're like under 1 million live views. And
For a
that's the fucking
single
Housewives.
episode. For a single episode.
Of like mid-season of
So
like
this is what
14.
I'm saying though, when I keep seeing people talk about good and bad PR, what does that mean? We are talking about, and this is really the heart of our episode, and we're going to keep going through some of these other couples, but this is really the crux of all of it. I'm sitting up now. This is how you know we're getting to the point. People have begun to gauge the success of Hollywood based on indeterminate vibes and aesthetics that are not rooted in the reality of how this industry works, right? You guys are living in fantasy land. You have watched the Barbie trailer one time and you have decided to live in a toy house made of plastic.
No, I have to laugh because everything you said, it's just, it's really good.
Sorry,
No, people are objectively wrong if they really don't think the PR is working. Like that's, again, look at the numbers. Here you are talking about it. It's already doing half the work it needs to do. If you didn't talk about it and you didn't even think about it, then that's bad PR.
I didn't come into this episode so angry.
But now you are.
But I got laid off today and I'm incensed. I really am on one. I am so sorry, everybody. Let's keep going. So we're not going to talk about Brad Pitt and Irina Shaykh's relationship, but I do have a piece I wrote about them for those who want to take a trip down memory lane. But the reason why I bring up Brad Pitt and Irina Shaykh is because they were another couple that fell victim to the celebrity PR movie pipeline. Specifically Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper, which we did a lot of episodes about back in the day, if you guys remember those. Oh my God. Remember all those episodes? It was literally just about whether or not they were fucking or not.
And again, good PR. Fantastic.
Great PR. Fantastic. That performance of them on the piano bench, babe,
bitch,
lives on Coquette Tumblr rent-free. Like... He's laying, oh guys, he's just a soft little baby girl. He's laying his head on her shoulder so delicately. Oh, baby
the amount
girl.
of gifts
ooh woo.
Generated
oh
from that
my
moment.
God, don't even get me started. So Brad Pitt and Lady Gaga are now both single, and A Star Is Born fans are rooting for them to get together. Do you want to get
this
to
really
this from
was
Insider?
In the thick of it. So this is from June 2019. Again, in the middle of hell. Again, from Insider, Bradley Cooper and his girlfriend, supermodel Irina Shayk, have split after 4 years together, which means Cooper and his Star Is Born co-star Lady Gaga are now both single. Cooper and Gaga play lovers Jackson and Allie in the movie, and their on-screen chemistry was palpable for fans. The two artists spoke about that chemistry during the press tour. Oh, did they? In an interview with Vogue, Gaga said she felt a connection with Cooper from the first moment she met him. Quote, "The second I saw him, I was like, have I known you my whole life? It was an instant connection, instant understanding of one another." Cooper seconded the connection while describing why he cast her in his directorial debut while at the Venice Film Festival. According to Variety, the actor, quote, fell in love with her face and eyes. They sparked romance speculation in early 2019 as they proved their chemistry during their performance of Shallow from A Star Is Born at the 2019 Oscars. Following the performance, Gaga told Jimmy Kimmel on Jimmy Kimmel Live that the two were just acting. Quote, "Yes, people saw love, and guess what? That's what we wanted you to see. I'm an artist, and I guess we did a good job. Fooled ya." It's funny because I'm like, I've been in the same room since like 2020.
I don't think so.
I like
no, since
genuinely.
2019.
I know, yeah, but I mean, just like since then.
No,
I have to laugh.
no, they haven't. Of course not.
Well, I mean, for other reasons as well, but. Well,
did you see those photos with him
It's very
and Pedro
complicated.
Pascal?
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't want to talk about it. I just was asking if you saw that he was hanging out.
Oh, I saw that.
But we're still going to need a top.
What's his name from that new short film that Pedro's in?
Ethan
the
Hawke.
top. Let's continue.
Don't tell Maya. You can't get enough of this.
We need to get out of here.
Here are some rom-com couples that dated in real life. Just to kind of end on a fun note.
Let's talk about it.
don't look at this list, by the way. I'm going to have you guess.
What?
Who dated from Mamma Mia?
Who dated for Mamma Mia?
Yeah, which couple ended up together in Mamma Mia?
Well, I'd assume Amanda Seyfried and
the guy Dominic Cooper.
Yeah.
They dated from 2007 to 2011. We also have Dev Patel and Frida Pinto from Slumdog Millionaire. They had a relationship in 2009, and then his mom kind of said stuff, and then they broke up after 7 years together. Goldie Hawn,
7 years.
Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell famously played love interest Joanna Slayton and Dean Prophet in Overboard, but they had already known each other for 4 years before filming began, and they met on the set of One and Only Genuine, only original family band in 1968, and started dating on Valentine's Day in 1983. Jennifer Aniston and Vince Vaughn play couple Brooke Myers and Gary Grabowski in the breakup. Characters broke up, but Aniston and Vaughn dated from 2005 to 2006.
forgot that happened.
Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling were in The Notebook together. They dated from 2005 to 2007 and then briefly got back together in 2008. Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz play love interests in Hamon Hamon, and 16 years later, they are still together. Taylor Swift and Taylor Lautner played Felicia Miller and Willie Harrington in Valentine's Day.
Oh my God. We need to do a server watch of that movie.
They dated for a few months in 2009. Love that. Joey King and Jacob Elordi dated from the entire run of the Kissing Booth press cycle.
You have to
Vanessa
laugh.
Hudgens and Zac Efron dated for the entire run of High School Musical. Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth were in The Last Song, and they fell in love in 2009 and then had an on and off again relationship that ultimately ended in a permanent separation in 2019. Kristen Stewart and Robert Pattinson dated for the run of Twilight movies. Channing Tatum and Jenna Dewan got together after Step Up. Marissa Tomei and Robert Downey Jr. were briefly together in 1993 to 1994 after playing love interests in Only You. And finally, Bennifer got together in Healy? How do we pronounce that movie again? Isn't it Healy? Anyways.
I'm staring at it. I can't come back.
No, I think it's Healy.
Sure.
They were together in 2002 and then they broke up in 2004 and obviously are back together now. To add to this list more permanent couples, we have Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds who met on The Green Lantern. We have Eva Mendes and Ryan Gosling who met on The Place Beyond the Pines, which is a really good movie. I want to watch it again. Leighton Meester and Adam Brody on The Oranges. Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze Jr. on I Know What You Did Last Summer.
I love
Rita
that.
Wilson and Tom Hanks on Bosom Buddies. Jessica Alba and Cash Warren on Fantastic Four. He was one of the production assistants on the movie. And then Natalie Portman and Benjamin Millipede. He was one of the dancers on Black Swan.
I didn't know that. Interesting.
So love wins every time.
Crazy.
You literally.
This is crazy.
It's so
That's
crazy how
so
all of this
crazy.
is happening while Lauren is gone. Lauren from WME. I need to lay back, guys. I had
I thought
episode.
I thought Joey King was that girl in Evil Dead Rise, but it's a completely different
No,
child
she's
actress.
the one. She's the one that was dating Mr. Feet Pics.
Can you elaborate?
Matt,
what you just
Jacob
said to me?
Elordi, who you they-them'd in a previous Hot
I
Topics
did not
episode.
them. Someone else on the server did.
Yeah, and you contributed to the they-theming of Jacob Elordi.
And that's fine. It's okay.
Getting his photos of his feet taken. People are like, what is going on this episode? I'm so sorry, you guys. I was destabilized by my life falling apart earlier, and I have not recovered.
Apologies for the
since.
personal catastrophes.
Apologies for the personal. I just now am hitting me that I got laid off. I think I'm about to start hysterically laughing. We should probably go.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
You guys, just to be clear, this podcast is a labor of love, but it is one that does take a lot of time. So if you do like our pod, you want to support us, I am in desperate need for money.
Patreon.com/eating for free.
Yeah, go listen, subscribe. We deliver bonus episodes every week. They're always high quality. They're always incredibly fun, beautiful, loving, caring, gorgeous, interesting. I did also have very exclusive intel about the upcoming Harry Potter reboot.
Oh, yeah.
On the most recent Patreon episode. So if you want to hear that gossip, go listen.
We also got some hotel recommendations for Vegas, so we can
Wait, did we?
see Erica choose.
Wait, did we really?
Well, someone recommended Circus, which I'm like, why would you put a curse on me? That place is genuinely horrifying.
Okay, I love that you're like, we got hotel recommendations. And I was like, oh
And
my God.
some of them are
And then
bad.
someone goes,
Valid.
Circus.
I was like,
Are there any that you're like considering?
well, MGM Park ain't bad because they get like free rooms every once in a while, and it's definitely nice. Like it's like very simple. I mean, you're not always just like chill in your room all day. You know, when you're there, you're.
Can I ask a problematic question? Are there like child-free hotels in Las Vegas?
You know what? I don't think so, but
I already told you that when we go to Palm Springs, we're doing a child-free resort.
oh, that sounds amazing. I love that idea. That well, there are child-free, like adults-only pool areas.
Okay,
and
cool.
That's everything.
Love and light to children on vacation, but I can't and accept that reality.
I do know that I've definitely got confirmation that Vidara is still like that girl, so that's a good one. But
is that the one you went to?
That's the one I went to. Yeah.
Okay, I guess
Again,
we're
you just
gonna
get some good rooms and it's very affordable. There's no casino in it either, so
That's
like
fine.
when you come back, you're kind of like, okay, relax,
Babe, you're going to Vegas with an addict. Why would you put me up in a casino?
You're gonna be that girl just like on the slot machine, like click, click,
With my
click,
cigarette
click,
and my
click.
cup
Yeah.
of coins.
Yeah, literally. Like that's exactly what it is.
That kind of sounds ideal, to be honest. I would love to
If only
just
the
be one of
slots were
those.
cheap. Like my God, they call them penny slots. They mean like the currency isn't a penny, but you have to put like 500 pennies to press a button. I'm like, what does that even mean anymore? It's all manipulation and lies.
Well,
You haven't seen the like insane things I've done to slot machines because you haven't been to Vegas.
never been to Vegas.
It's literally like the Game of Thrones slot machine, and then next to like the Simpsons slot machine, next to like at this fucking point the Euphoria slot machine. It'll be like a Zendaya like moving on a fucking Jacob Elordi on like a conveyor belt. Like I'm not even joking. It's disgusting.
I hate that
it's
for us.
Sick society we're in.
I hate that for us.
Yeah. Let's get out of here.
3, 2, 1. Goodbye. Stable employment.
Hire her.
You've been listening to Eating for Free, which is written and hosted by myself, Joan Summers, and Matthew Lawson, and produced by Ashlyn Thomas and myself, with music from our friend Pluto. For more information about this episode and our show, go to eatingforfree.com. And if you want weekly bonus episodes, go to patreon.com/eatingforfree, which helps support this show and keep it going. We've also got merch at eatingforfree.com/merch.